The following is a segment from Session 7 of the Honestly Better Mental Fitness Show. If you would like a list of all of the segments and full sessions, please visit honestlybetterfitness.com/list. That's honestlybetterfitness.com/list.
Welcome to LH Industrial's Honestly Better Mental Fitness. I'm Mike Lomber. I'm the president of LH Industrial, standing in the middle of a breezeway in the shop in Tempe, Arizona, to get an idea of what we do behind us here. I found mental fitness a few years ago, and it changed my life. It's changed my family's life. And now we'll bring it to all of LH Industrial, and we're coordinating it. So you put it out for us to hearing. Thank you for joining.
So the first is, there's a lot of different ways that this is said. There's probably 10 different quotes of different people saying it. But essentially, you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything. And to me, this is really a reminder of what is most important to you. I think we started out this question in the very beginning about like, what are the things currently going on in your life? Like, how are you spending your time? How are you spending your week? You can do whatever you want with the 24 hours that you have, but you can't do everything with those 24 hours. And so part of this process, maybe this question, this statement inherently points you inwards. What is it that I really want? If I only have 24 hours in a day, what do I do in my day that I look at the end of the day and feel good at? At the end of my month, when I look at my month and see what I've done with my month, do I look back and be like, that was incredible. That was beautiful. Or at the end of my year, maybe you're reflecting at the end of the year and you say, I loved the way I spent this year. Like, this year was the most powerful year I've had in my life. Or do you look back and be like, yep, another year down, tick one more off. I'm one more step towards death. Or one more year I've endured. I've survived. I survived one more year. Whew, gosh. This question moves back to you of, what do you really want? What do you really care about? And are you living that? And if not, why not? And it's a lot deeper question than you would think. And I think actually probably a large percentage of the work that we do is people trying to figure out who they really are, what they really want. Are the thoughts that are in their head about what they should or shouldn't be doing, or the actions, the thing they're doing, their own? Is that I'm doing this because I want to, because this is truly how I want to spend my life? Or am I just on some rat race here where I'm running this race that I don't even really know why I'm running or why I'm doing what I'm doing? I'm just think it's what I'm supposed to do. It's what I have to. It's what I should do. And those are interesting words, like supposed to, have to, should. It implies that somebody outside of us is actually the one in control of our life. I hear these words get used a lot. Well, I don't really want to do it, but I have to do it. And zooming out of that, realizing that I am the one that's fully in ownership and control of my life. Is it what I want to do? And there's things that maybe in the moment I don't really want to do the dishes, right? But I want to have a clean house. So I do want to do the dishes because I want my house to be clean. And I think when we make that switch within ourselves, and going back to this idea of you can have anything you want. You can not do the dishes. Like you can party it up all weekend long, eat pizza, pile up the boxes on the counter for the whole week or whatever it is you want, right? You can have anything you like if that's what's most important to you. This is, you can have anything you want, but not everything. Or you can get up and you can do the dishes and you can spend your whole weekend cleaning and making sure everything is perfect and just right, if that's what's most important to you. And this question is reflecting back to the things that you do in your life. Are they the things that are really of deepest value to you? And I think this also goes deeper into conflict, into relationships. I think it's easy to see this in maybe a couple fighting, or maybe a child and a parent, or two coworkers fighting. Like, do you want to be right in this debate, in this argument, or do you want to strengthen this relationship? What's most important? And I think a lot of times we just get stuck on this. I'm trying to prove right, and then I prove right and I win the argument, but I lose the relationship. And it's like, what was I really trying to do in proving this here? And so again, it comes back to, you can have anything you want. You want to be right, you can be right. But is that what you really want? Underneath almost all conflict, when you start dissecting conflict, it's really about the thing that's being argued. It's about the things that underneath that are really important. Example of getting cut off in traffic. It's not the 3 seconds that I am running, that I'm going to be later. It's going to take me 3 extra seconds because this person cut me off here. It's really about the respect that's underneath, or the disrespect, or the way that I believe people should behave. It's about somebody robbed me. It's about something underneath, and getting to this, you can have anything. It's what is most important to you in that moment, proving to that person by speeding up alongside them and doing whatever to let them know that they can't disrespect you, or you just continuing on with your day. Like, you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything. I think in correcting, example up here is correcting the behavior. With maybe kids, for those of us that are parents in here. Do we correct the behavior, or do we want to get to the root of what is causing the behavior? Now, what's most important in there? Like to punish them and let them know that this isn't okay, or to dig down deep with them and why is this going on? This isn't you. This seems like different from your normal thing. Like, I'd like to be able to sit down and talk and have an argument about it. I mean, not an argument about it, have a discussion about it. Right. This is really about taking radical ownership of our lives. I've got up on there, the average lifespan is 27,375 days. Question is, how do you want to spend yours? Some of us will have more, some of us will have far less. And this first is a reminder to put first things first, and to remind you that you can truly have anything you want in your life. You have to prioritize it. And so it's reflecting back in here to the question of, if you're going to have one thing in your life, what is it? What is that one thing? What is that first thing that should come first to you? And is your life in alignment with that? Okay. There's our first. If there's any thoughts or questions, I can open it up for a moment. Then we'll move on to the next.
I got some thoughts on that. I think you're spot on with the most important thing that people don't do, and that is decide what they want next, right?
Right.
And decide what is most important to them, which is really fascinating. It's you can call it manifesting, or some people call it praying or whatever, but they're picking, and it's not really one thing, right? It's a stack of things. So you can't have everything. I think you're right. I think when people are focused and looking at Facebook and seeing other people that have other things that they think they might want because they're nice and new and shiny, they get distracted by that and they start chasing that for a minute, and then they hop over and chase something else for a minute. Well, the act of sitting down and saying, I'm going to commit the next 10 years to gathering up my house, or gathering up my family, or gathering up my career, is incredibly powerful. And I find that you're exactly true. You can have whatever you want. Now, it all comes at a cost. Now,
right.
And I see most people missing out on what they want. What they want is what other people have, and what they don't want is to have to do the things the other people did to get those things, right? And the sacrifices. And I think there's another interesting one that Dan Sullivan talks about, and that is one of the things that even when people do want it, And they're reasonable people, and they're completely capable of getting what they want. They decide not to. They pass on it, and that's normally because I think he says their 6 most important relationships, they're afraid to leave them behind. So sometimes that's called crabs in a bucket. Mm-hmm. So they get this fear without even knowing they're getting it. They get this fear of, well, if I do that, then I might alienate this person. I might not be able to spend the time with this relationship that I have. So I'm just going to blow up what I can easily grab, so that I stay exactly where I am, which I think is also fascinating, because it's the only thing that's impossible, is to stay right where you're at and have nothing change. And I find most people trying to do that, attempting to do that, and there's no way they can do that. So instead of choosing what they want and focusing on it and doing it, they choose to be a ship without a rudder and just let everybody else's pushing, put them wherever they end up, which is a lot of times nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is a scary part of choosing and deciding, because then you're responsible for what you have and get.
Yeah, well, there's that too. My fear of failure, right? Well, geez, that's too big of an ask. I can't get that. Well, you probably can if you go ahead and do it, right? It's amazing what you can get done if you really put your mind to it and are willing to show up and sacrifice some to make it happen.